Hi there, I'm Deanna McCoy. I'm the Nurse Aide coordinator and the instructor for the high school class, and also help out with the online class. So I'm just going to go over the admission packet that you can find on tcr.edu and hopefully answer any questions that you might have in reviewing this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to share the screen with you here and take a look at the packet. Okay, so this is for the 2021 school year. So we'll just go over the simplified checklist. So we put this here for you just so you can mark off as you go, since there is a list of criteria. Anything healthcare has more requirements coming into it because of going into healthcare agencies. So the clinical is actually at a nursing home, providing we're able to do that given COVID right now. But the anticipation is that you are going to be going into a long-term care facility and caring for the residents there. So they, as agencies, have their criteria that we must also follow. So the first step is your application. So the application is on tcr.edu. You can download that, or I'm not sure if that is available to submit online. Otherwise, it can be downloaded, filled out, and emailed. Up here, we have admissions@tcr.edu. You can send it there. If you're a high school student, you're also going to fill out a concurrent enrollment and application form, and your counselor will be able to help you with that. So concurrent means that you are a high school student but taking a college course. Refresher courses are available to people who've been out of the field for a while and they need to take the state test and need some help getting through the skills that are required for testing. The background check must be done through this castlebranch.com. There is more information within the packet on the cost of that, but it must be done only through that site. And how to do that is also explained further in the packet. So it can take a while for that to process. It has to be approved by our nursing program director. So just go ahead and do that one, and it'll be printed off here on campus through us, and you will also get the information yourself. Just know that there is a cost to it and takes a little bit of time. If a long-term care facility is sponsoring you to come into the program, we will accept the background check that they did for you. Okay, and then the two-step TB test. So that is to check for tuberculosis. So because it's highly, highly contagious. So this one is required. So it can be either the under the skin test. It's a teeny little needle, I promise you, non-painful, and that can be done. If you cannot have that test done, you can have the blood test done. That's called a T-spot or a quantiferon. So allow some time for the skin TB test. It is it's in the series of steps as follows. You go in, you get the little under the skin injection. You go back in 2 to 3 days. They read it. They look at the site to see, is it negative or positive? You wait 1 week and you do it again. The little skin test, you go back in 2 to 3 days, according to whichever agency policy it is, and you have it read again. We have to have 2 of those tests done. So that's what we call 4 steps. You go in, inject, read, inject, read. Okay, hepatitis B. So this is a series of 3 vaccinations. You need to have at least the first one done. It is possible to sign a waiver form if you cannot take this vaccination. So you will need to ask for that one. The waiver form, that is. And then transcripts at at minimum, the high school transcript. And you can talk to the registrar if you have any concerns about getting your transcripts to help answer your questions on that. And I do believe it has to be an official, oh, there it says official copy sent directly to TCR. So that it is not from your file cabinet at home. It has to be sent from the school. Okay, then number 6, your driver's license or a state issued picture ID. This cannot be a school ID. If you are not driving yet or don't have a permit, then you still need to have some form of state issued ID. So that's not like the passport either. It would have to be received through the Department of Motor Vehicles. That's where they do the IDs and such. So picture ID. The essential functions form is also attached in the packet, and this is just for healthcare workers. It's more about being fit for a job in healthcare. So questions such as the ability to read a small, like the blood pressure sphygmomanometer, to be able to read that dial, to be able to feel, to be able to lift, to be able to walk for a long period of time, be able to stand and function because you're caring for people. So go through that. It doesn't mean on some of those questions people think, well, I don't know how to read, I don't know how to do a blood pressure. No, it's could you read the dial? Could you feel like for taking a pulse and such? Not are you skilled at it already? And then for pregnancy, if there are any special considerations for you, then we may ask for a physician's note. It does not exclude you, of course, from taking the course. And then the flu vaccine in season. Typically it's November 1st through March 31st. That can vary depending on the situation. This year they actually required it earlier in October, and last year it went into April. So it depends on the year. We'll certainly advise accordingly if you were to go into a long-term care facility. All right, and here's the schedule. I want you to know if you're taking an online hybrid class, yes, you must come to lab. Online means that you do your theory independently with an online learning management system, but you must come to do skills, and those are lab days. So here you can see for this session on the calendar that there are specific lab days. There are 4 skills lab days, and then there's 1 extra day that is for exam prep. That's because this is a certification program. That means that after you're done with the class, then you take a state exam, a written and skills exam. This is one of those unique professions where for CNA, they do require that you do skills to test out. So it's pretty detailed. So that's why we have a special day that is just to go over all of those skills to help you prepare better to successfully pass that skills exam. And we also help you prep for the written exam. All right, and then clinical, right now in November of 2020, we're in the midst of increased COVID cases. So being able to go into clinical sites has been more restricted. So we are doing some alternate simulation on campus in lab simulation format. But anticipate that you would be going to a long-term care facility with an online program for a whole weekend. And for high school class, yes, you're going to have weekend days, but you're going to have typically it would be 3 weekend days and then an orientation period. So be aware of that you're not just signing up for only online. Okay, you can go through the course descriptions, and here you do get 4 separate grades in this program. This NUA 101 and 170, this is the core that is under the State Board of Nursing, there's very strict criteria of what content we must cover. And then we have the home health aid theory. So we do focus in addition on specifics related to home care. So that'll prepare you better because that field is growing quite a bit. And then that one day that I told you about for online, for high school, it's over a couple of weeks, but for your class periods, that this is that pass-fail to get you prepped for the state test. Okay, now we have all the details about the checklist items. So do go through these if you have questions. And here's the specifics about the background check, the cost, and anything that might be disqualifying. It's all detailed information. There's the disqualifying factors. So if there's anything that you're concerned about, look through that list and consider those. Then the tuberculin test. So I talked about that one, the under the skin or the one-time T-spot blood test. And I'm not sure about the cost on that blood test. Then hepatitis B immunization record or waiver. You will have to request the waiver form, flu vaccine, and then we have more description on the classes. The textbook, I'm just going to show you what that textbook, oops, I guess I can't show you what that textbook looks like because I'm in a different different space here, but the textbook is Hartman's Publishing. You can buy it through Amazon if you like. High school students for the spring semester, we have an agreement where it will be covered for you with an agreement with the school district. Otherwise, I can send anybody who needs it a link on how to get that through Amazon and sign up for Student Prime and have it shipped free and all that good stuff. Okay, but high school students this spring of 2021, we've got it covered for you. Then the supplies is a teal uniform top. For spring 2021, we will provide that at no extra cost for students, but you will need to go get a black uniform pants. So you can order them online. They do need to be black though, and just good shoes. Okay, and neutral colored, closed toe, closed heel. Yes, you need a watch with a second hand. That's not the digital kind like a smartwatch, unless your smartwatch has a digital face that has a second sweep hand that goes around. And we need that for vital signs. Okay, you can look through the rest of the packet. There's completion policy, dismissal policy, and there is that essential functions form. Also, if you have an IEP, write it in here. If you have any special learning needs that you might need more assistance, please write that in there so that your instructor can assist you a little bit better. Okay, I'm just really looking forward to having a nice, robust group of students and a great learning environment. This is a really terrific foundation course for anyone going into healthcare, and it doesn't really matter what area of healthcare you're going into. You will learn a lot about caring for human beings. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful. Take care, everybody, and looking forward to having you in class.